because I said if I want this to grow, I'm not gonna be a player all my life. I'm an old man already, So I gotta start studying. I
Yeah.
gotta start studying on the books, textual. You know what I mean? Like the, read the books and get more into details about coaching. And started preparing myself as a player, and then I started building up until our coach that we had, he left to the states. So we had another the assistant of coach became the head coach, but then he got sick. He had a heart attack. They had to operate him from his heart,
Oh,
and
damn.
they gave me the spot as a coach, as a head coach. So I
Yeah.
took it, and from there on, I've been coaching. I've been
Nice.
coaching flag football. I've been coaching the women's team, the men's team, everything I can.
And so, like on that note, what necessarily inspired you after having so much success as as a coach for a male football team? What inspired you to now say, okay, let me go try and now expand the sport to the other gender? Because as we all know, most of the time, football is a sport that's mostly associated, towards men playing it because of the contact and the aggression involved. So what, as a coach having so much success already with the male team, what made you now move to starting the female team?
Well, it's been since I was a player and I started getting involved in the administration of the leagues. Um, I did not have enough just with building football for men.
Mhm.
So I know that in order for the sports to grow, we have to start with the young ones. So uh, another coach, Paolo, I think you met Paolo,
Yeah, I
and
think so.
and other coaches there, and myself. We had a vision with the youth, having the kids start off at flag football with the fundamentals and stuff like that, and then start growing into the major league. But I
Yeah.
also wanted to have girls like flag football, so having the kids and girls start off at flag, so that way when they start growing up, then and they have the proper age, they could start playing contact. But not everybody had the same vision, so it
Mm.
was rough. We did flag football with the kids for a while. I had 6 championships with the team that I coach, with the
Hmm.
Trojan Bulldogs from
Hmm.
Lincoln School, and then after that, it kind of like fell off. Youth football fell off for a while, so we only had 2 teams of women. It was one over here in San Jose, and it
Yeah.
was one in Perez Celedon.
Yeah.
And I used to coach the one in Perez Celedon. That's like 4 hours away from here. So I used to travel every weekend to go coach them. So that way they could have a team to compete.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always seen more than just a men's sport. To me, it's not a men's sport. To me, it's just a sport that it is welcome to be played by whoever is interested. It don't matter if you're a kid, a boy, a girl, what I mean, a woman, a man. It don't matter what you are, what your gender is. If you want to play football, if you're interested in playing football, don't let nothing stop you.
Yeah.
So I started talking to some coaches that are the actual coaches right now for the other teams, and I'm like, listen, in order for us to open a league, a women's league, we need to just start now. We don't have nothing. We don't have no association. We don't have nothing, but we will get it. We will make it happen. If we believe and we work,
Hmm.
let's throw ourselves out to the road and let's start working while we're building. We could be building
Yeah.
and working at the same time. So let's do this. So they
Yeah.
agreed with me, what I mean, and we poured. And then we finally came with the association, and it's been running for 2 years. And hey, we even have an international games already. I mean, we played Panama, we have played Honduras, we have played Mexico, we have played the United
I saw
States
you played
twice.
the
So I
US.
mean, it's
I,
expanding.
s- I saw you played the US recently. How did that game go?
Well, it was this last game was it was rough because of the pandemic. You know,
Yeah.
uh,
People are
we
in
we
training,
didn't
people
have
are
no
in shape.
we didn't have no physical training at all. So, you know what I mean? So we only had one day where we met, and the girls had 8 to 9 months without doing anything. So it was just kind of rough to go back to the feeling like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was more of getting back a reminder of the playbook and walkthroughs and stuff like that than actual hitting or doing conditioning
Yeah.
or running the ball, timing with quarterback and receivers and stuff like that. So it was kind of rough. And not only that, we didn't have the full squad there. It ain't no excuses, you know what I mean? The U.S. came to play. They came with their team, and hey, they my props,
It's
mad
okay.
props for them. You know what I mean? They did their
Yeah.
job. So it was a well deserved victory. But yeah, I think they probably, I don't know if they could probably would have beat us anyways, but I'm pretty sure if we would have prepared, it would have been a more competitive game, you know. But it was fun. It was fun. That's what it's for, you know what I mean, to have fun. So the
Yeah.
girls were happy that they were able to leave the house and get back into the field again.
So, like, people argue that there's not much that much attention in women's sports, and that as well then goes into how much they get paid, right? And a lot of people do argue that, for example, if you were to look like at a sport like football, if you look at how the men play and you look at the few women's games that are actually being kind of like shown, is that, do you believe as a coach you see a difference? Because some people will argue there's a difference of the level of aggression um, between the games that women will play and the games that men will play. And just so that I can say that I personally think that that's not the case, because I've seen, was it Claudia? I've seen Claudia rock somewhere, and I think she
Yep.
could, rock me the same way too. You know what I'm saying? So,
Bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch. Get out the way.
I've seen, I've seen like some really tough women out there who can really, just play as well as the men. And you can see, like, in women's in like tennis, when the way they were able to bring out the quality aspect is they played a Battle of the Sexes games. I think it was back in the 70s, and
Yeah.
then she beat the male champion, and then they started a kind of like a committee to make sure that there was a balance of they'll say there was the same prize winning, the amount was the same as what the men were getting. But now, if we transition into, let's say, for example, American football, and you look at the NFL, it's hard for you to convince people that, them watching a game between the Saints and, I don't know, maybe the Seahawks or the Saints
Kansas City Chiefs.
and the Kansas City Chiefs would be equivalent to, a women's game as well. And I think, as a coach, do you see a difference, for example, for a receiver, how they get out of their breaks? Let's say like a running back. Let's say if you watch a Derrick Henry run the ball, or you watch Nick Chubb run the ball, that do you think it would come out the same as, another female running back doing the same thing? Do you think that's a thing that now leads to people saying women's sports is not as exciting as male sports, because the level of physical, let's say, aggression, or kind of the performance is not the same?
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All
I
right.
can hear you.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad. You know, it's sad that you have people to think like that. You know,
Yeah.
that the women's game are not excited. You know, I see it the other way. You gave an example with Claudia. I'm not gonna say the man's name, but I put them on Oklahoma.
Hut! Hut! Say it! Who are you saying? Hut! Run, there you go, there you go! Ready, Marcus? Say it! Hut! Some boy. Come on. Right. Boom. Come on, Brady. Come on, bro. Go hard. It's a dark bite.
You know, and Claudia rocked him, you know, and she's a woman. And the guy who she rocked has been playing football more than Claudia. So it ain't no excuses, you know. I mean, some of these women that we played against, like from the US and Mexico, and you know what I mean, I seen the way they play, and I'm like, whew, if I had her playing on the men's league, she'll be a superstar.
Yeah,
You know
she
what I mean?
damage, yeah.
Routes are crisp, you know what I mean? Like on point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hands are beautiful, the routes, you know what I mean? Crack blocks, everything, you know what I mean? So there's nothing that some of these women gotta envy the men. They don't, you know what I mean? It's all about discipline. It's all about how hard you work. You know what I mean? If you have a football player that works off at a 50% through his season, but you have a woman that on that same season she busts out and plays and works out 200%. By the time they're gonna go play, the woman is gonna stand out more than the guy because she prepared herself more than he did. You know.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just a matter of how much you want it. You know, how much great do you want to be? There is no limit of how great can you be. You know, you could always beat that record every day. You know what I mean? You could be every day you could wake up and become a better person than what you was yesterday in all aspects. You know what I mean? Even as an athlete, you know, depending on how much you put into it and prepare yourself to become that best athlete.
Yeah.
So I see no difference between women and men. I don't. It's sad and I laugh. You know what I mean? That's all I could do. I could laugh at those who think that women are less than men. You know what I mean? When it comes to sport, because like I said, man, I've seen women out there, man, they got skills. And I'm like, whew. Even on the if you see the lingerie football games, you know, you see those girls, they want to knock their heads off. They're usually harder pops
They're
than on the
crazy because
NFL.
they'll be in the game, she'll chug like a whole beer, go back and hit another like 3 downs. And I'm like, I couldn't do that.
This is Shakita Benita, and I'm broadcasting live from Ludacris concert. Ludacris, where are you?
Like that's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
Yeah. But you see, like
sometimes
for the ratings to be high, we have to watch women in lingerie. You understand what I'm saying? And I think that's like where now it's like, you know, what do you do with that? You know?
That's what we're trying to break with that. You know what I mean? We're trying to put that and show people that you don't need to have lingerie. That's why here in Costa Rica, I say no to lingerie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mexico tried offering it to us. They even actually had an exhibition game here one time, but I say no to it. And the reason why is because you gotta respect the athlete for the athlete that she is.
Exactly.
Not for the body of how she know how much clothes she got on. You know, if she plays good, she could be with 20 coats. You know what I mean? Sweatpants or whatever. You know what I mean? And hey, she got routes, she got skills. Hey, much props to you. You know, that's what we gotta focus on. You know what I mean? On their skills, not on how they look.